If I asked you to guess one of the strongest predictors of health and longevity, you might say blood pressure, or maybe cholesterol, or even fitness level. But one of the most consistent predictors researchers keep finding is actually something much simpler: how strong your grip is. Not your gym numbers, not your bench press, just simply how hard can you squeeze something. And that raises a weird question. Why would something as simple as grip strength be connected to things like heart disease, memory decline, or even lifespan? That's what I want to unpack here today. I want to start by saying what exactly grip strength is. Grip strength is exactly what it sounds like. It's how much force you can produce when you squeeze something as hard as possible, and it's usually measured with a small handheld device. But here's the important part. Researchers don't care about grip strength because of your hands. They care because it seems to reflect something much bigger. It's influenced by muscle strength, nerve function, overall physical health, and even aging processes in the body. So in research, grip strength is often used as a quick snapshot of how somebody's body is functioning overall. Not perfectly, but surprisingly well. Next, why do scientists even care about it? And here's where things get interesting. Across large population studies, lower grip strength has been linked with higher risks of earlier death, heart disease and stroke, fractures and falls, physical disability, cognitive decline, depression, and even poorer sleep. For example, in a very large international study, researchers found that people with lower grip strength had higher risk of heart attacks and death over time, even after adjusting for many other risk factors. That's not a small study finding. That's actually tens of thousands of people. And this pattern shows up again and again in different countries and populations. So the question becomes, why would one simple measure connect to so many different outcomes? What does grip strength actually tell us? This is where people often jump to the wrong conclusions. It's very tempting to think maybe stronger grip equals better health. But that's probably not actually the right interpretation. A better way to think about it is this. Grip strength is not causing good health. It's reflecting what's happening underneath. For example, as we age, a lot of systems change at the same time. Muscle strength declines, nervous system efficiency drops, activity levels decrease, chronic disease becomes more common. Grip strength is kind of like a compressed signal of all of that. So instead of being a magical trait, it's more like a window into overall physical resiliency. That's why it shows up in so many different health outcomes. Not because it directly controls them, but because it tracks how the body is aging as a system. The most important misunderstanding is causation, and this is where we have to be careful. Just because grip strength is linked to health outcomes does not mean that improving grip strength alone will automatically extend your life. There are a few reasons for this. First is confounding. People with higher grip strength are often more active, healthier, and have fewer chronic conditions to begin with. The second reason is reverse causation. So illness itself can reduce strength. So declining health can actually cause weaker grip, not the other way around. So if you take, for example, a cancer patient, when they are going through these cancer treatments, their overall physical strength is going to decline because their body is fighting off this cancer, which therefore is going to decrease their grip strength. They did not get the cancer because of the grip strength, because their grip strength was declining. So that's reverse causation. And third, grip strength is probably a marker, not a mechanism. So in other words, it usually tells us something is happening, but it's not necessarily the thing driving everything. This is a really important distinction whenever we're looking at these research studies, these scientific studies, because just because something is correlated does not mean that it is the cause. And misunderstanding that can lead to a lot of inaccurate health information. So next, the question is, can you even improve grip strength? And does it even matter? And the first answer is yes, you can improve your grip strength through things like resistance training, carrying weights, hanging from a bar, pulling exercises. All of these things tend to improve your grip strength over time. But here's the key point. The research doesn't really suggest that training grip strength in isolation is the goal. What matters more is overall strength training and physical activity. Because when people start to get stronger overall, grip strength tends to improve naturally anyway. So grip strength is less of a target and more of a signal that your training and health are moving in the right direction. So instead of just focusing on grip strength and grip strength specific exercises, it's the most beneficial for your health over time to just increase your overall strength instead of just focusing on one body part. What I find to be the most interesting about grip strength is not the number itself, but what it represents. It seems to reflect something deeper about how resilient the body is, how well it's aging, and how much functional capacity someone has left. In a way, it's a reminder that health is not just about individual metrics. It's all about systems working together. And sometimes a simple measurement can capture a surprisingly complex picture. So grip strength isn't a magical predictor of longevity, but it is one of the simplest ways we have to get a snapshot of overall physical health and aging. And that's what makes it interesting. Not because it tells the whole story, but because it gives us a clue that there is a bigger story happening underneath. And I think that's what I want to keep exploring in future videos. Simple measures that actually reflect complex health and aging processes. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope that you found this interesting and learned something. I think that I want to keep doing this where I research different topics related to health and longevity and kind of break them down and explain them. So if that sounds like something that is interesting for you, I would love it if you click the subscribe button and also maybe leave a comment about a topic that you want to learn more about. Thank you.